I'm Brad Lynn. You may know me as the KC Magic Man. And that? Well, that's just a penny. You guys probably already knew that. But if I were to take the penny and just give it a little squeeze, and change it into something much more. Now that's an effect that I learned at the Mid-Continent Public Library over 30 years ago from a book that I had checked out. And I'd love to teach it to you guys if you'll stick around to the end of the program. I'll teach that as well as 2 other effects that you can use to go out and freak out your friends and family. Now when I first got into magic, I did use ordinary objects that I'd found around the house. Like a deck of cards. You guys might be familiar with a deck of cards. Maybe you're not. But some of them have red backs, some of them have blue backs, and then they're all different kinds of colors in here. We're going to focus just for a second on the backs because I learned something kind of weird just recently. And that if you take a card and you let it wander off on its own, well, sometimes it can get a little sick. It's just weird. See, I left my card out and it actually got the measles. But the thing about the measles is it's very contagious, so that's why I try and keep it separated. Because if I were to take and just rub just a little bit, see now the measles are not only on the 10, but they're also on another card as well. And now that card is infected. Now if I wanted to, I could then take the 8 and rub it as well. And now it's got the next card infected. It's just nasty. Now if I were to take and just rub my hand just a little bit on those infected cards, then I can go and just rub just like this. And now it's started to spread to my other cards as well. Let's try that one more time. Again, just a little rub. And it's infected that card as well. It's just nasty. You know what? Here, let's try something else. Watch, if I were to take all the infected cards, just going just like that. It spreads very quickly to not just one card, not just 2 or 3, but many, many cards. In fact, all of the cards now have the measles, which is just really, really gross. In fact, it's making me sick. I better get out of here before something bad happens. Oh, thank goodness. I thought that might have been permanent. You know what? I brought some other cool stuff to show you. This next one involves some solid objects. That's right, I have a ring and I have a rope. Now the ring, I'll let you take a look at it. See, it's kind of cool. What I'm going to try and do is push your entire body through the ring. All right? Your entire body going through the ring. I'm sorry, did I hurt you? Are you okay? Oh, okay, good. Now the thing is, it's a solid object all the way around. You don't see any holes or anything in that, do you? Well, probably not, except for that big one right in the middle. Okay, well that's a solid object. We also brought another solid object with it, which is a rope. You might have some of these at home. What I'm going to do is tie a knot in that rope to where we've made 2 rings. That solid ring there, and then a ring with the rope. Now I said that they're solid objects, all except for that part right there. That's the weakest link, that's the knot. And if I take and I tap that right onto the knot, sometimes you can get that ring to thread itself on. Pretty neat, huh? It can come off just as easily. It's like a little puzzle. Well, here, maybe I can. Oh, there we go. And it comes off just like that. Now, did you bring any magic scissors with you? I actually got a pair right there. It's my magic scissors. And if I take and I just snip just like that. Oh, okay, I'm good. No, what that does is it cuts the rope right in half. And if I were to untie that knot, then you're left with 2 very even pieces of rope. Actually, that one's a little shorter, that one's a little, we should probably trim that up. Or I tell you what we could do. Sometimes you can just start right over, just like that. Remember when we had one rope? Those were good times, right? Of course, I'm just messing with you guys at this point. Now, here's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna do something kind of weird. I'm gonna take those two ends right there, place them inside the pocket. All right? Can you guys snap your fingers? Maybe you can do that with me on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And when you snap your fingers, this is so strange, but now you have a rope with no ends. But if I were to bring back those ends, it's kind of like a puzzle. You just got to know where to fit it. Does that look good to you guys? Hopefully. And if you're just twisted around like that, sometimes you can get those to mend right back together. And now we're left with one rope, one ring, and one pair of magic scissors. Keep those for yourself. Those are a gift. Those are a gift. I am playing around a little bit, but I do like the rope tricks. That was one of the first ones that I learned whenever I was a kid, along with the card tricks and the coins. Would you like to see something cool that I learned whenever I was your age? All right. Well, this is a rope. We already went past that, didn't we? All right. So here is the goal. Maybe you guys can do this at home if you have a rope. But what I'm going to try and do is hold on to the ends of the rope just like this and not let go while tying a knot right in the middle. Right in the middle. Again, not letting go of either end and tying a knot right in the middle. All right, it goes quick. Just like that, a knot right in the middle. The cool part about this knot is, watch, if I were to take it, just wiggle it just down, just like that, you can slide it right off to where you're left with a knot there and a full piece of rope over there. Would you like to learn that? I tell you what, stick around to the end of the program and I will teach you exactly how to do that, along with a coin trick and maybe something else. It'll be fun times. Stick around. You know, you'll notice with that effect, we ended up with some really big money. In fact, speaking of big money, I bet you didn't know this, but sometimes magicians back in the day would use tricks just like this to make money off of their spectators. They call them swindles. See, they would bet money, and the magician would use tricky ways to try and win that money. In fact, here I'll show you one right now. This is one of the oldest tricks in magic history. It involves a little orange ball just like this, and then a cup. Now, back in the day, what the magician would do is he would take that ball and he would set it underneath the cup. If it wasn't underneath the cup, sometimes he would place it in this hand over there. Sometimes he would even take it and he would place it inside his pocket, and then it was the audience's job to figure out exactly where that was. Was that ball underneath the cup? Was it in the magician's hand? Or was it inside the pocket? I've over-explained it at this point, so let's go ahead and get started. Oh, what, did I miss something? It's all right, it's all right. Now what I'm going to do is take a little orange ball, I'll place it inside the hand just like that. Just a little snap though, it vanishes and it reappears underneath the cup. Sometimes I can take and place it inside the pocket just like this, give a little snap, and then of course it reappears underneath the cup, which doesn't make that much sense because you can see that the cup is solid and you could see the ball going in and you could hear the ball. Actually, if you were here, you could hear the ball going in, but somehow, some way, that magician ends up taking and making the ball jump from the pocket and ending up underneath the cup. Now, some of you guys are smart. Let me correct myself. All of you guys are very smart out there, and so you have figured this out probably, because it's impossible for this ball to be in my hand, in my pocket, and underneath the cup at the very same time. Some of you think that I might use a second ball, and if you guessed that, I would say that you were absolutely correct. See, while I'm distracting you over here, I'm actually slipping a ball underneath the cup. You didn't even see it, did you? And if that one freaks you out, then this one will really surprise you. Weird. You know what? I brought another really cool thing to show you. Let me see here. I think it's that's great. Thank you guys very much. And for my next pickup, I think I put it in seriously. And for our next pickup, yeah. Now that one is just disgusting. I have it. And that one is just disgusting. And this whole thing is just so gross. It's so gross. I think I'm done. Ugh. Now you may notice that I like to do magic with ordinary objects. That started as a young kid because I used to check out books from the library and use magic effects that I could do with things around the house, like cards, like coins and ropes and things like that. Here's an effect involving some cards. You may be familiar with a deck of cards. You probably have one at the house. But essentially, I've got 5 cards here. And what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to think of one of them. You'll notice, like, if that one is the one you're thinking of, that's a K for king, and then it has a shape next to it. That's a diamond. So that would be the king of diamonds. This one right here would be a Q for queen, and then it has a heart, so it's a queen of hearts. So it's your job to think of one of those cards and get it into your mind. Okay? Have you done that? Hopefully you have. Now what I want you to do is just remember that card, just focus on it, okay? Whatever the name of that card is. And I'm going to try my best to try and read your mind and figure out exactly what card it was that you chose. Again, keep thinking of your card. I don't want you to forget it. Otherwise the trick won't work. So let's go ahead and I'm thinking. I got it. I'm going to place your card right there. And I want you to think of your card. Hopefully you have it in your head, and you'll notice that your card is over here and it's no longer with those 4 other cards. Did I get it? Be honest. Now, again, I like to use tricks involving ordinary objects. In fact, when I was your age, I actually had a library card that I would take with me to the library, check out books about magic so that I could learn at home. In fact, for your age, the most important card that you could have access to is a library card. You may not be into magic. Maybe you're into sports. Maybe you're into crafting. Maybe you're into painting. I don't know. But there's books about that subject right in the library, which is why you should get yourself a library card and go out and learn about what it is that makes you happy. Now, I did bring one more effect with me. Would you like to see it? If you're still around, that means you probably do, okay? It involves 3 cards, okay? You'll notice that these 2 cards on the outside, they look very similar. They're black 6s. And then you have the different card right there in the middle, okay? Focus on that different card. It's your job to keep track of that different card. It's right there, okay? I made it a little bit easier for you though, okay? And that different card is also different on the back. You can see that it's red while those outside 2 are blue. So again, you've got the black 6s. I don't want you to worry about that. Keep track of that different card. It's right there in the middle. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and place it aside just like this. And I'm going to mix these 2 up. And you're thinking of that different card. Of course, it's not in here. That different card is right there. Okay? So, in all of this, I wanted you to remember a couple of things. And one was the most important card. The most important card. Do you remember what that was? The most important card? Hopefully you do. That most important card was a library card. I just did a whole monologue about it. Hopefully you guys got that one. And hopefully you guys enjoyed yourself. Thank you very much for attending my show. If you'll stick around just for a little bit, I'm going to teach you the secret to 3 effects that you can use to freak out your friends and family. So hopefully you'll stick around. Thank you guys very much for your time, and have a good day. Well, congratulations. We've made it to the end of the program, and this is my favorite part, where I get to teach you guys effects that you can take out into the world and show your friends and family to amaze them too. Now, I chose 3 effects, and I tried to keep it simple to where they would be easy to learn at home. They use objects that you can probably find right now in your home, and things that you can do to practice at home so that you can get good enough and confident enough to go out and show your friends and family to just blow them away. Now, I know we've seen a couple of these before, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to show them to you again, and then we'll go over in detail about how to perform the effect so that you can get good enough and confident enough to go out and perform for friends and family. Let's go ahead and do that now. All right, let's go into the first effect. This is the very first trick that I showed you guys, okay? I came out here with this, and it's true, I actually did learn this one as a kid, and I didn't start performing it until just recently. And you'll see why here in a little bit. What it does is it involves a penny, and if I were to take and squeeze just like that, it actually changes into this big coin, okay? Hopefully you guys can see that. This time you can show your hands empty if you want, and you're done. Would you like to learn how that works? All right, let's do it. Now, I hate to spoil it for you, but this actually involves 2 coins. It involves that penny, and then involves a bigger coin. Now you may not be able to find one of these huge coins like I did, and it may not even work for you because you may have small hands, something like that, but I bet you can find some of these other coins I'll show to you right now. Okay, you've got this one, which is a 50-cent piece. Those are a little more rare, but you still can find them by going to a bank. Maybe your parents have them, something like that, but that is a 50-cent piece. But I know for a fact that you guys can find this one. This one's a quarter. All right? As long as you have two different sizes of coins, this one's gonna work. Okay? I'll go ahead and go with the 50-cent piece just to kind of show you the explanation on how this works. Okay? What you're going to do is you're going to start by preparing this penny in a certain way. If I were to turn this around, you'll notice that the penny looks a little funny. It's got something on the back there. What that is a little piece of napkin that I had. You don't have to use napkin. You can use a paper towel. You can use a Kleenex, something like that. But you need to prepare the penny in a certain way. And all I did was I took and I tore a little piece of napkin off just like that. I balled it up just a little bit so that it would fit back behind the penny. And then I took a piece of tape, a little tiny chunk of tape just like that. Hopefully you can see that. And what I did is I rolled that up and created like a double back piece of tape, if that makes sense. It's a little tough to see, but I took that and I placed it on the back of the napkin, and then I took the sticky part and I put it right on the back of the penny, just like that, and I sandwiched it on there. Now you can't see it from the front because I've kind of trimmed it down to where you cannot even tell that that napkin is back there. All right? So you have your prepared penny. And now what I want you to do is I want you to get that bigger coin. Either it's a quarter or a 50-cent piece, something like that. And we're going to hold that in kind of a weird way. All right? What I do to make this work is I take and I come in and I pinch that big coin with my fingers just like that. And so it rests right in there so that if I were to turn my hand, it kind of looks like that. And I have to leave these two empty because that is actually going to have my penny in it. So you've got this one hid back behind the penny, but if I were to turn and face the camera, it looks as if that penny is all by itself. You can't even tell that that big coin is right behind there. And that is the setup on this. All right? And the reason I put that napkin on there, we'll hear it in a second, is because sometimes whenever you get two coins and you're doing magic together with them, you guys can hear that? Yeah? It makes a little bit of noise. So when you put that napkin behind there, now, would they click together, you can't hear anything, or you can hear barely anything at all. Okay? So let's get in that setup again. Again, I'm going to clip that penny just like that. Actually, I clip that $50 just like that. Put the penny right in front of it. And this is how you would perform it. And then, whenever I do the switch, my hand is going to come in, it's going to cover everything like this. And I'm going to take my thumb and I'm going to push everything together to where it comes together like this. Okay? So that that penny is back behind your bigger coin. All right, let me go over that again. Okay, again, my hand is coming in here, and I'm going to smash these two coins together like this. And whenever I have them pinched, then I'm going to turn them just like that to where now that penny is back behind the big coin. And then I can make a little movement or whatever I need to do. And then I can show this hand completely empty. And now this hand actually looks empty as well. And one other thing that I do kind of is kind of to prove that my hands are empty is I'll do this and then I'll go down like this. And it's almost as if I'm displaying both sides of the coin like that. In fact, I'm holding that penny and it's hidden the entire time. All right, I'm going to go over this one more time I probably don't need to, but I'm going to anyway, just so you guys can get it. Again, I'm displaying the coin just like that. I've got it clipped back here. My hand is coming in, sandwiching everything together, clipping them, turning that coin to now we're displaying that. Give it a little movement, and for now, I can show both my hands empty, and then you can take and you can place that in your pocket or something like that from there. So I hope you guys enjoyed that one. It's pretty simple to learn. I know it sounds a little complex, but if I could do it as a 10-year-old kid, I'm sure that you guys can do it as well. Please have fun with that, and let's go into the next effect. I don't think I showed this one during the video, but this one involves a bottle of some sort. It could be a water bottle. I'm using a Gatorade bottle here. Essentially what you do is you take that cap, and with just a little toss, you can slam that cap inside the bottle, just like that, and it's trapped. Pretty cool stuff, huh? So you want to know the secret to this one? Again, practice, 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 because this one's all about just faking or miming an action, okay? This is something where you probably wouldn't do for a show or something like that. You do it kind of in the offbeat. Maybe you're at a party or something like that and you want to show your friends something cool. This might come into play. So what you do is you take, and once you've drank your water bottle, your Gatorade or whatever, what you're going to do is you're going to take that cap, and it might be hard for me to get it out now, but a lot of times you can take that cap, you could smush it down sideways and just stuff it right inside your bottle. I'm sure you guys have done that before, just playing around. And that's all you do, that's your setup. Now you have that cap in the bottom of your bottle. And so whenever it's time to bring this out, I like to put this hand kind of down here to conceal the fact that that cap is down there. And what I'm gonna do with my other hand is I'm gonna come up here up top as if I'm holding the cap. And from here you can just pretend. All you're doing is pretending to take that cap off. And then holding it in your hand as if it's a real cap. Okay? Now you don't want to go like this and squeeze it really hard. You want to, just kind of be casual with it. Okay? And then what you'll do is take, and hiding that from the audience still with your hands, you just come up and just hit the bottom of the bottle pretty hard. And they'll hear that cap, and a lot of times that cap will bounce up to where they can see it up in the top. And then you can turn this over, and now you've got a cap inside the bottle. You can hand that out, they can take a look at it, make sure that there's no like cuts or anything like weird with it. So that's something else cool that you could do with your friends and family. And the last effect. All right, this one is more of a challenge. You guys saw me do this during the program. But the challenge is, how do I tie a knot in the center of that rope without letting go of the ends? And this, it looks a little funny, but what I do is I take and I squeeze just like that, and now we have a knot right in the center of that rope. You guys can see it right there, okay? And then if I wanted to, I could take and slide that knot down just like that, right to the end, and I can pull it off of the rope. And if I wanted to, I could hand that rope out for examination too, and they could see that the knot is really not in the rope anymore. All right, so how the heck did I do that? Let's find out. All right, this one, the only setup that I have is that you have to learn how to tie the knot, and then the only other thing I do is I hold this in my hand, and this is just is an actual knot. It's an actual knot that I tied into a rope, and then I cut away the ends so that just the knot stayed. All right, so I had that. I have it hidden in my hand just like this, and I try to act natural with it, okay? And what I'll do is I'll grab the two ends of the rope just like this and make my hands match so that it looks as if I'm just holding a normal rope, which I kind of am. All right, and now we need to learn the knot tie, okay? This is probably gonna be the most complex of the three effects that I'm explaining to you, okay? Because the knot is a little tricky to figure out how to do, but I'm gonna teach it to you now. We have both ends of the rope held, You've got the loop in the middle. I'm going to take this right hand, I'm going to bring it over to my left, okay? And then I'm going to loop around just like this. So now my hands are in this position right here, all right? If you'll notice, now I've got two holes right here and here. I'm going to take my hand, I'm going to go through one of those holes, and then I'm going to come out the other side like this, okay? So now it looks like a big old mess. Now with my left hand, again, I'm squeezing everything down, but I'm going to try and shimmy that rope off of my left hand like that, okay? So now my left hand is free, and we're going to start to pull, pull, pull until that cinches down and the knot starts to get a little bit tight. Now we're going to try and do the same thing with this hand, and we're going to shimmy it down to where that's now loose as well. And now I can tighten up the rest of that knot, just like that. I don't want to go too tight, and you'll see why here in a second. All right, so I've tied myself a knot there, and the further back you get, the better the knot looks, okay? If I were to show it up really close, you can kind of see something funny is going around with it. But if I'm back here, it just looks like a regular knot, all right? What this is a slip knot. So if I just tug just a little bit, that knot disappears. It's gone. All right? And that's the secret of this effect. So again, I'll show you how to tie that knot again. I hide this knot, the real knot, in my hands. I grab both ends of the rope. My right hand is going to come over the left and loop over to now I see two holes right here and right there. Okay, my right hand is going to go through one of them and out the other. All right? Now I'm going to shimmy the rope off of my left hand, start to tighten things up. Now I shimmy it off my right hand, tighten the rest of the way. I've got that weird looking knot there. And from there, I can let go. I can readjust. And then when I'm ready to get rid of that knot, I take this hidden knot in my hand and I go through and I cover. And if I pull just like that, you can feel the knot untying in your hand. And you can pretend to slide it down just like this. And then once you get to the end, you can show them that prepared knot, that one that you've been hiding in your hand. You can even throw it up just like that, you know, to be fancy about it. But now you can show them this knot and the rope without a knot in it. I'm going to go through it one more time, just the explanation, because this rope is a little bit tricky to learn. All right, so I'm hiding that in my hand. I grab both ends of the rope. The right hand is going over the left. When I come back down, I see those two holes. I go in the left side, come out the right side. Now, I shimmy the rope off the left side, I tighten that up. I shimmy off the right, and then I tighten that up. From there, I can display it. My hand comes up in positions. I come down with this prepared knot. I cover and pull. I slide down. And then I am left with that prepared knot. You can hand that out if you want to. You can hand that one out, and then you can take your bow because you were done. So hopefully you can learn those three effects. It shouldn't take you too long, and you can go start performing and being just amazing for your friends and family. I hope they love it. There's a few things that I did want to go over for that. Number one, please don't tell your secret. Okay, I know I'm telling it to you now, but there's just a few of us, and we want to keep the secret between ourselves so that it makes it more special for us and it makes it more special for the person seeing it. You know, because once you discover the effect and how it's done, it kind of takes away from it a little bit. All right, number two, I want you to practice in front of a mirror even, or in front of your parents' camera phone. I don't know, I want you to get good at it before you actually go out and start performing for friends and family, okay? Because the better that you're the better you are at performing the effect, the more special it is as well, and the more people are going to enjoy it, and you won't be so flustered whenever you're trying to do it. Number 3, I want you to have fun. I want you to have fun. Sometimes people think of magic as, hey, it's a way to show, hey, look what I can do. Look how great of a person I am. And, you know, it becomes like, hey, I tricked you, I fooled you, that kind of thing. I like to think of it as an experience, a fun experience that we can have together. And so if I'm showing an effect, I try to have fun with it. I try to joke around. I try to relax a little bit. And that helps the audience to relax as well. And they're better able to enjoy it. And it's a good experience for everybody. And so I want you to practice really hard. Remember those 2 things. Don't share the secrets because it's just between us. And hopefully you guys can go out and start performing these and just blowing people away. I wanted to thank you guys so much for sticking around and sharing your time with me today. I hope you had a lot of fun. I know that I did. And hopefully you learned a little bit of something that you can take out and share with your friends and family to amaze them too. Another huge shout out to the Mid-Continent Public Library for putting on programs just like this so that I can share my love with magic with you guys even though we can't meet in person. I hope you enjoyed all the tricks using the ropes and the coins and the cups and the balls and even the cards. But remember, at your age, the most important card that you guys could have is the library card. So make sure that you go into the Mid-Continent Public Library, get yourself a card so you can start checking out books about the things that you love to do. And hopefully, we'll be seeing each other for real in person before too long. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a good day.